Hi there, YuGiOh. This is Phocks from Team 1000 Years of Pain, coming at you with a part 1 of the Koa'Ki Meiru deck profile. Now, the reason I'm calling it a part 1 is because since the Koa'Ki Meirus have been out for a long time, and they've never really been part of the meta, most people don't know what all the major hitters, at least the ones in my deck, do. And I have to explain it to them, or they have to read it several times. So I'm breaking it up into 2 parts. The first part is going to be an explanation of how you're supposed to run the deck and what each card does in the combo of it. So part 1 is going to be about the monster aspect of the deck, which is 20 cards. And then the part 2 is going to be about the spell and trap aspect, which is 21 cards. Yes, it's a 41 card deck. Don't kill me over it. I do run one more magic and trap over monsters. It just kind of fell that way. I didn't have the heart to cut any of the cards out. They combo really well, and that one card really doesn't mess up my draw ratio as bad as most people think. So, like I said, we're going to go ahead and start. Now, before we start with the monsters, everybody should know the basic effect of 90% of the Koa'Ki Meirus. It says, during each of your end phases, destroy this card unless you send 1 Iron Core of Koa'Ki Meiru, this card right here, one of these, from your hand to the graveyard, so you have to discard that card, or you reveal whatever the card calls for in your hand. One Koa'Ki Meiru that I run requires you to reveal a normal trap. Most of the Koa'Ki Meirus I run require you to reveal what they are. So either a beast warrior, a dragon. That's why you'll see multiple copies of each Koa'Ki Meiru and multiple types, multiple cards of the same. Basically, if I have one set of beast warriors, I'll have some more beast warriors, not just that. Or if I have like my set of warriors, I'm going to have more than just that set of 3. So the Koa'Ki Meirus work pretty well. Now, most people believe in order for you to play the deck correctly, you have to discard the card to keep the Koa'Ki Meiru on the field. So they revolve their deck around bringing this card from the graveyard back to the hand. You do not need to do this. I do not need to stress that enough. You do not need to reveal this, to ditch this card, to keep your Koa'Ki Meirus on the field. If you do this, that is the last-ditch effort. What you want to do is you want to use the reveal aspect of the effect. So if it's a beast warrior, you want to reveal a beast warrior in your hand. If it's a warrior, you want to reveal a warrior in your hand. You don't want to have to discard. Not very often are you forced to discard the way the deck is set up. What you use the Iron Core for, and the reason you run 3, is you use the Iron Core for your spells and traps of the deck. So, let's say this again. You reveal to keep your monsters on the field. You use the Iron Core to activate your spells and traps, which is usually just revealing an Iron Core. So yes, your opponent will know 2, 3 cards in your hand, but it keeps your monsters on the field. And I hate to say this, a lot of people don't realize, if I have 2 beast warriors on the field and they both say you need to reveal a beast warrior, I can reveal the same one for both warriors, because for both monsters. I don't have to reveal 2 different ones. Nowhere in the rules does it say I have to reveal 2 different ones. So, well, I'm already at like 5 minutes just explaining that. So, let's go ahead and get into the monsters, and I'll tell you what each one does. I play 3 Koa'Ki Meiru Boulders. This is the only Iron Core or Koa'Ki Meiru monster that does not have the effect saying that you have to discard an Iron Core or reveal another rock. So he is pretty much your only one that you can summon without having to worry about revealing or discarding. However, He's also only 1200 attack. He is the lowest attack creature in the deck, and he's also has the best potential. What he does is if this card is destroyed by battle and sent to the graveyard, you can add 1 Iron Core Koa'Ki Meiru, which is this again, so everybody knows, or 1 level 4 or lower Koa'Ki Meiru monster from your deck to your hand. So pretty much everything, all your monsters except for the 3 boss monsters that this deck has, can go to your hand, or you can add an Iron Core. So this is great for searching. Now you usually put him in defense mode, let them run him over. The next monster you play is Koa'Ki Meiru Urnight. Now he requires you to reveal a Beast Warrior type monster from your hand to keep him on the field. So you reveal him, or you reveal the next card I'm about to show you, which is Koa'Ki Meiru Crusader. But usually when you play Urnight, what you use his effect, which is to reveal an Iron Core from your hand, and you can special summon 1 Koa'Ki Meiru monster from your deck, level 4 or lower, except for another Urnight. So basically you use his effect to special summon whatever other monster you want, or whatever other monster you already have one in your hand, and you can, at the end of the turn, you can exceed with them because they're both level 4 if you need to. He's kind of like a you can kind of use him like you would use a tour guide, but there's 3 of them. I don't see why this deck doesn't get plenty of plays. I mean, I have 3 pretty much I have 3 tour guides right here. They have 2,000 attack apiece, so they're pretty hefty. They're level 4, so they can go into rank 4 exceeds. And if you want to keep them on the field, you just reveal a Beast Warrior. Now, I know you're saying, well, there's only 3 of them. Well, I have another 3. The next 3 Beast Warriors I play are Koa'Ki Meiru Crusaders. His effect is pretty awesome as well. He also requires you to reveal a Beast Warrior. So if you have him, reveal him, reveal him, or any combination of the 2, as long as it's a Beast Warrior. So you got 6 targets for the reveal. Not bad. Well, 5 technically. But what Crusader's effect does is pretty awesome. You usually use his effect later game. You don't want to use it right off. His effect is if this card destroys an opponent's monster by battle, you can add 1 Koa'Ki Meiru card from your graveyard to your hand. So pretty much any Koa'Ki Meiru monster goes from the graveyard to your hand. So say you used Urnight and he died earlier. You can summon Crusader, attack with Crusader because he has 1900 attack, and he's actually one of your lower monsters in the deck. Urnight goes back from the graveyard to your hand. You can reveal the Urnight that you used to keep Crusader on the field. It's not bad. They ruled that he has to be on the field to resolve his effect, unfortunately. So you can't like bash him and grab a card. You can't suicide him to grab a card. Alright, so those are my Beast Warriors. Next I'm going on to the Warriors. And I usually use these guys as beat sticks. I use 3 Koa'Ki Meiru Bergzak. He is a 2000 attack creature. And what he does is he requires you to reveal 1 warrior to keep him on the field pretty much. But his effect is, if this card destroys an opponent's monster by battle, it can attack once again in a row. So it can hit a face down and then hit directly, or it can hit 2 creatures in a row. He's a 2000 double attacker, so he's pretty badass. The problem is you only run 3 of him, so you don't have a lot of targets for the warrior revealing effect. What I usually do is I go Urnight, reveal an Iron Core, special summon him. He can hit twice, Urnight can hit once, and then you can overlay for rank 4. If you get 2 of these guys out, you can overlay and get a blade armor if you need to. because they are warriors. Or you can overlay 2 of these to get a what is it called? A heroic champion Excalibur. The only other warrior, well, I digress. The only other warrior you run in your deck is one of your boss monsters, and he is called Koa'Ki Meiru, Rook Lord. And it's his effect is you know, you have to either discard an Iron Core or reveal a warrior in your hand to keep him on the field. His other effect is you can tribute summon this card by tributing 1 Koa'Ki Meiru monster. So he only takes 1 tribute. When this card is normal summoned, you can remove from play 1 Koa'Ki Meiru monster from the graveyard, which is usually Boulder, and to destroy up to 2 cards your opponent controls. So 2 cards, any 2. It can be 2 back row, 2 creatures, but it doesn't have to be 2. It can be 1. You can choose 1 creature or 1 back row, just in case you think they have a Starlight. So he's pretty much like the Monarch of the deck. A 1 tribute, destroys creatures, but he has a pretty high attack, 2800. He is well over the magic number of the deck. Him himself, most decks will have a hard time with because he's almost 3k. You only run 4 warriors in the deck. Usually if you run him, you're using him for a 1-turn hit, unless somehow you got Burzak in your hand. Usually if Burzak's on the field, you're either going to exceed with him, or you're going to reveal Rook Lord or another Burzak. They work out rather well. You just got to know how to play the deck. The next type of monster I'm going to reveal is going to be dragons. I run 3 Koa'Ki Meiru Drago. Now Koa'Ki Meiru Drago keeps the deck anti-meta. How does it do it, you ask? Well, his effect. You can either reveal 1 dragon to keep him on the field, or, well, no, you can reveal 1 dragon to keep him on the field, but his other effect is light and dark monsters cannot be special summoned. No Christia, no Hyperion, no Dark Armed, no, what else people, what light and darks? No BLS, no Light Pulsar, no, you know, any light and dark, no Judgment. Any light and dark that would be special summoned. If they go to play Tour Guide, they can't do Tour Guide because they have to special summon it. It does not destroy, it does not negate, it just says it cannot happen. I love the wording too, because if they go to try to do it, they can activate the effect to do it, but they just can't do it. It doesn't negate anything, it just says no. The ruling on that's very simple. You can't. There's no way around it. They ruled that it just cannot happen. None of your Koa'Ki Meirus are light or dark. They're all earth, wind. Yeah, pretty much earth and wind in this deck. That's the only 2 attributes you run. So it does not hurt you at all. The other dragon you run for the reveal targets of Drago is 2 Koa'Ki Meiru Maximuses. He is the biggest monster in the deck. He also has a weird effect. He cannot be normal summoned. He can only be special summoned by removing from play 1 Iron Core Koa'Ki Meiru from your hand. So you have to have an Iron Core in your hand and remove it from play to get him out. It's during each of your end phases. Destroy this card unless you send 1 Iron Core Koa'Ki Meiru or 1 Koa'Ki Meiru monster from your hand to the graveyard. So no matter what, you have to discard for him. I usually use him for 1 turn. He doesn't say if he does stay out for a while. It's because I don't think I can hold field presence because of my hand. But his other effect is pretty badass. It's once per turn during your main phase. You can select and destroy 1 card your opponent controls, 1 back row card, 1 monster, 1 of anything is just gone once per turn with him. So, I mean, he's an amazing card. He's a hell of a boss monster. He has 3,000 attack. So, not only does he destroy a card a turn, he can then attack with it. You can then attack with him. However, you have to discard either a Koa'Ki Meiru monster or an Iron Core to keep him on the field. That's the cost. So if you do keep him on the field, you want to combo him with Crusader. Crusader hits a creature, you get a creature from the graveyard, Maximus attacks, end phase, you discard the creature you got back with Crusader. Most of these combos are very easy for the Koa'Ki Meiru deck. They're very straightforward. However, it's the sheer power behind the Koa'Ki Meirus and the powerful effects they have that keep your opponent, flabbergasted pretty much. They can't do much about them. They have to run a lot of destruction to keep Koa'Ki Meirus at bay. More destruction than most decks actually run this format anyways. And I run one more creature. It's 2 Koa'Ki Meiru Powerhands. Now, he's a little weird. Koa'Ki Meiru Powerhand, he is a 2100 attack 4-star. But that's not the weird part. His effect is what's weird. It's just like every Koa'Ki Meiru creature, you can discard an iron card to keep him on the field. However, another way to keep him on the field is you have to reveal one normal trap card in your hand. So you have to keep a trap card in your hand to keep him on the field. His other effect, though, is pretty badass. It's also an anti-meta card, but it's also an anti-effect, kinda. It's if this card battles a light or dark monster, that monster's effects is negated during the battle phase while this card remains on the field. So, if I attack a face-down Raikou, no effect. If I attack into a DD Warrior Lady or a DD Assailant, no effect. So overall, he's a great card. I usually run him just because he's a 21 hitter. I combined him with Urnight, summon Urnight, reveal, special summon him, attack, end phase, main phase 2, exceed. Overall, I usually don't like drawing into him, that's why I'm running 2 of him. And he doesn't really help with any of the revealing aspects. Overall, the deck runs rather well. You just gotta think with the deck. It's not an autopilot deck. Depending on the situation, depends on how you'd play it. Well, that is all for part 1 of the Koa'Ki Meiru deck profile. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. This is Phocks signing off.